So we're going to look for attached or single family. Did you say, oh, buy and hold? There we go. So we're going to check buy and hold here. And we're going to, for under market percentage, we're going to look for properties that are at least 25% under market. So you might be able to negotiate, that equity, that 25% down. You usually have to put down when you're buying a rental property. Might be something you might be able to negotiate in terms of some seller financing, maybe get creative to lessen the cash out of pocket. We're looking for actives, and we're going to go ahead and just run with this filter here, see what we come up with. Okay, so there's 9 properties, Gary, in 21218, which are considered to be 25% below market. So let's go ahead and zoom in on these areas here. All right, so let's pick one of these. We have 714 East 37th. Any one of these catch your eye, Gary? You want to give me one of these to pull up? We have one on Asquith, one on Harford Road, Montpelier, Homestead, Gorsuch, 29th Street, which, is kind of interesting. This one, this one here has been on the market for.
Yeah, how about the 29th Street?
Yeah, this one's been on the market for almost 9 months. I'm going to go to 29th Street, but we'll maybe bounce back to that other one. Where's the 29th Street? Here we go. All right, so we'll click on this one here. So we don't have interior photos of this one, and this one is active, listed on the MLS. Looks like it is. Let's see here. We'll pull up all activity. So again, this one's active on the MLS for 65.9. In terms of investor comps, so you have 1845 East 29th that sold for 165. Let's take a look at that one. So that's one block over that sold for 165. So now you can see why this property is on the list. Okay, so one block down, you can see someone did a nice renovation and basically, got, which probably is top retail at 165. You can see they opened up the wall a little bit, make it a little bit of an open floor plan. They didn't do anything crazy in terms of, structural changes. But this did sell within the last 45 days, last 2 months, it sold for 165, newly renovated. And you can see here, and let's see if we can see what this actually was purchased for. Sometimes you can see that in the listing here. And if we can't, we just can't. But if we can, that'd be good. I think it's trying to pull the data. All right, there we go. So we're now looking at the county data. Let's see if we have a before. So this property, now I don't see what it was purchased for. Well, we do see there was a pre-foreclosure notice in 2017, and looks like, okay, there we go. There was looks like there was a notice of default. It looks like it was bid at $9,000 at auction 2018, and that may have been what it sold for. Of course, I don't have the public records here, but you can see here that it was vacant. And that just goes to show this Deal Master Monday is not about direct to seller marketing, but you can see obviously how direct to seller marketing would have been good on this property with the pre-foreclosure list pendants to lead to a good profitable deal of this nature. But it looks like this property was caught in some direct-to-seller marketing and then resold at 165 about 45 to 60 days ago. Now let's come back to, this is 1,080 square feet. Let's come back to the property, which Gary asked us to look at. Similar structure in terms of a row house here, similar square footage. So I don't know what the condition is. It says motivated seller, great opportunity for investor or starter home. So you'd have to do some due diligence to know whether it is vacant, whether it is rentable and as is condition, if it's rentable, habitable. But let's say this property is like it's described. A lot of times when the agents will list something as a good starter home, the property is habitable and in moving condition. So let's say this property is in moving condition. Maybe it needs, $2,000 to make it rent ready, tenant ready to pass inspection. Would you consider this to be a deal? There's a question there for the live chat. Would you consider this property a 65.99 to be a deal if it could be rented for, let's say, $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month, when you have a property one block away that recently sold for 165? Would you consider that to be a deal? Okay, give me some comments in the live chat. If you think it could be a deal, yes, yes, yes. Maybe it could be a turnkey rental for now. Maybe a renovation in the future. Maybe you even think that you can go in, buy for, maybe make an offer for somewhere around 60, maybe 57. Maybe you put, 50,000 into it, maybe 55. Maybe you're all in for 120 and you sell for 165. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think it could be a fix and flip? Do you think it could be a turnkey rental that eventually you renovate later? So Stacy says yes, could be a deal. Gary says I think it would be a good flip. Robin says yes, it could be a deal. So folks, this is exactly the types of things that you or your investor-friendly real estate agent should be doing. So we just identified a property very quickly by focusing in on the zip code that Gary's interested in. So Gary also said 21212. So we're going to go ahead and look at let me do it this way. We'll go ahead and clear this filter. And we're going to now look at 21212. Anyone else have an area in the country that you want to look at? We're now looking at, again, Andre Johnson here for Deal Master Monday call. We're now doing deal or no deal breakdowns, breaking down deals, and taking live Q&A. What you think is a deal and why? What are your goals? Are your goals, cash now, cash monthly, cash later? That's going to determine whether you think a deal is a deal. So let's go ahead and look at 21212, attached and single family. We'll do buy and hold again. This time we'll go 30% under market, and we're going to go ahead and click filter. Okay, it brings up 5 properties. Okay, so let me just show you the difference. It's 5 properties with the 30% below market. If I change that 30% below market and I just eliminate that filter, now it shows all the properties. You see it shows 12 properties. So it went ahead and filtered out the properties that weren't as deep of a discount. So we'll go ahead and put that 30% below market. All right, so we're going to now maybe find a couple properties here. So let's take a look at this one here, which is kind of, unusual. This big house on Springdale Avenue. Okay, so this one here says HUD. It says owner occupants only, no investors, HUD owned property. So this is a foreclosure. Okay, so this property can't be bid on yet by investors as HUD owns this home, and it probably has to be on the market for 45 days before investors can bid on it. Unless you have a nonprofit or some special exempt purchaser. But you can see here, perfect for a large family or investor, great for income potential. Let's take a look at these photos. Okay, so a lot of times HUD-owned properties still require some repairs. So just because it's HUD-owned and it's being held for owners only, owner occupants only, don't be fooled. A lot of times there still are repairs necessary. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one and see what we think. So, feel free to comment there in the chat Doesn't look bad so far, right? The wood floors look decent. The walls look decent. Kitchen looks decent, right? What do you think? Does the kitchen look decent? In fact, the kitchen has, stainless steel appliances, at least a stainless steel fridge and microwave. You can see the floors have been ripped up in this room, but the walls look decent. Bathroom looks decent. There was a jacuzzi tub there at one point in time. This bathroom doesn't look too bad. Again, the floors was carpet that was ripped up, of course, there. Bathroom looks decent there. Again, carpet ripped up, looks like that's the, the, not attic, but the top floor, the loft area. Looks like there's water damage in the basement. So that's an area for concern, of course. Water damage and some mold there in the basement. That bath is probably in the basement there. So looks like there's, some renovation needed for this property for sure. It's huge, 2,700 square feet. Let's go ahead and see what we see in terms of comparables for this property. Let's scroll down. Definitely going to be some repairs. It's not going to be a turnkey situation. It's going to require some repairs for sure. Without a doubt, require some repairs. So let's look at investor activity and see what comes up here. All right, so I don't see any sales there for investor activity. Investor activity with privy means properties that were bought and then sold on the MLS. Bought from the MLS, sold on the MLS, and having a purchase and a sale, and they would show both of those numbers. So we don't have that there. So we're going to unclick this here. And now we're going to filter by all activity and see if we can just do a search here looking at what's considered to be the investor comp. So let's go ahead and sort by distance. So it looks like there are good numbers here. There's some properties, that within half a mile, in this area, half a mile in Baltimore is not too bad. Other areas, it's, quite far, but just knowing the area, as long as you stay east of York Road here, which is 45, in between the Alameda and York Road, you should have solid comps there. So let's go ahead and look at the sales. So we'll sort by descending price values. So there is a property 0.29 miles away that sold for $675. Square footage was 3748. Now that could be, and it has the basement as 1592. So this property right here could be similar square footage. Let's go ahead and look at it. This is a really nice property, single family house. It's brick. Okay. Not sure if this is 3748 above grade or 3748 including the basement, but I will tell you that this property here that we're looking at, and this is on, like I said, it is on the western side of 45. So I wouldn't use this comp. So let's get rid of this comp here and come back. Let's continue to scroll down. We'll look at this one here. Let's see where this one's on the map. This one also is on the west side of 45. So one of the things you can do with this tool, which is really cool, is you actually can draw your comps area. Very good, to see that. Let me show you exactly how you can do that. You can draw your comps area, which makes it good to eliminate certain comps, right? So we said we want to be west of 45, which is York Road, and east of the Alameda. So we would draw our comps area so we can, so let's say we go above. There we go. Can I draw? What's going on? I'm gonna try to draw this comp area here. See if I can. Maybe this is my, what's going on? Why can't I draw? There we go. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, we'll try again. There we go. I said east of York Road, the Alameda, and went down to Argonne Drive, Stacy. So you can see there that the map actually, now is only looking at these comps in here. So now we know our map is pretty much where we want it to be. And now we can sort by our filters, and we know, okay, well, our highest comp here is 252. All right, so 252, let's take a look at what that property looks like. Now, this is a really nice, looks like a really nice renovation on this property for 252. So back to our HUD property. The highest comp in this area being 252, newly renovated. This HUD home, mold in the basement, needs some work at 169. So it's definitely going to require work to get rid of the mold, finish the property. The highest comp, in our comp map is 252. So do we think this property is a deal or not a deal? Feel free to throw that in the live chat where you think it's a deal or not a deal. And I'll give you my opinion on it. While we're waiting for people to chime in, I'll just take a moment to reset, where we are on tonight's meeting. Amira says no deal. Anyone else? Gary says no, I don't think it's a deal. Anyone else? All right, so again, just to reset, Andre Johnson here for our Deal Mastery Monday call. Tonight we're going over deal or no deal discussion, breaking down deals that are available on the market with live Q&A. If you want to get with me on a free strategy session so we can discuss your real estate goals, see how we can help. We can talk about building out a game plan for you getting started or taking your business to the next level here for the rest of the year. You can book a free strategy call with me at reigoals.com, reigoals.com. Again, Andre Johnson here talking about deals or no deals. So let me come back to this particular deal we were just discussing and give you my feedback. So like Gary, like Amira, I do not think this is a deal because I think it's overpriced because HUD is trying to get it to homeowners, and you'll see this price bid down once a homeowner does not take it, and investors will come in with much lower offers. That's what happens in a lot of cases on retail platforms, the MLS auction sites, going to wholesalers. You're going to be seeing prices with numbers that don't make sense a lot of times. And so this property definitely doesn't make sense. Now, people, listing the property for HUD, they're not always, looking out for investors or homeowners. They're looking out for their client HUD. And so they may use some comps on the west side of York Road, which are not viable comps if you know your market. Okay. So again, I don't think this is a deal. There's no cash. There's no cash now in terms of being able to put this under contract and wholesale it. There's no cash monthly because you have to renovate it. There's no tenant in there. You have to renovate it in order for you to then make it income producing. And then there's no profit on the back end because the highest comps are in the mid twos, where you probably have to pick this up at retail at 170. So I would say this is no deal. I agree with Amira and Greg